Okay. We need to do a bit of airbrushing, like right off the bat. I mean, we got a bunch of airbrushing to do. That's why it's airbrush day. But we gotta go in with primer again. My black primer's been, you know, acting up. Acted a fool. Much better. And it's specifically the primer. Like, all the times I've cleaned the needle, all the times I've cleaned pretty much any other element on this thing, never really get anything out of it. There's no, like, chunks sitting in. It's just the primer having too thick of a pigment that I gotta deal with. Unwind this tube. There we go. So the plan today is to at least get these guys to chrome. We got to pick colors for the light terrain as well as the deployables. But yeah, these models are pretty good. Got some glue on them. If I'm going to underlight them, I think I want the underlight to be applied as an OSL. Kind of like after the fact. So I'd rather not, like, pre-do it this time around. Hell yeah. Almost everyone I've seen that has been posting up their progress. What's up, everyone? Almost everyone I've seen that's been posting up their progress for these things, it's all wasps. Like, every single one of these is going to end up being a wasp for most people. It's like the perfect color scheme. And then I'm out here planning on making them look like robots. Freaking chromed out. What do you want to know about Cassadors? Honestly, I don't even know. I don't know if there's like a best version of Wasp. All I know is they try to do whatever like the brightest yellow is and get a little bit of patterning on them. Personally, these would be, for me at least, as like a wasp-like thing. It'd be one of those like cicada killers, like those giant ones. Oh no, I agree with you. There was at my parents' house where I would mow the yard. There was a wasp nest that they built inside a bird feeder that was out in the yard. Around where I like drive by. Oh no, dude, murder hornets are huge. Cicada killers are like the next tier up. They only really go for cicadas. They're not like as aggressive, so it's not as bad. But like, when you see one in real life, you're just like, holy crap. The first time you see one, if you don't know what they are, you have that moment of like, well, the world's over. An abomination has been made to kill us all. Okay. But if you're familiar with cicadas, like, these things are bigger than a cicada. Because apparently, I guess they just, like, try to kill things like cicadas for food. And they're just massive. But yeah, most people seem to be going for the yellow with black striping standard. Because there was a... What were they? I think they were hornets. No, they weren't hornets. I think they were just wasps. So the wasps, when I was mowing my parents' yard, are actually a southern wasp. We're not in the south, but I guess they've migrated north a bit. Oh yeah, a lot of bees have fur. But yeah, so it's a completely black frickin' baseline like wasp hornet thing. And it has white circular striping. And they are hyper aggressive. Like, they will chase you for a while. And try to, like, bite you and sting you. Like, if you get anywhere near their hive. So, I'm mowing that yard. And I just got swarmed by them. Oh, no, I'm not going yellow. And yeah, I know enough to know which colors to start with if I'm going high saturation, low opacity paints. But no, we're not doing that with these guys. I was thinking of it because I saw them and I was like, oh, they make for good wasps. And I thought I had an original thought. Right? Like, you have that moment of like, I'm a genius. No one else is a genius like me. And then you go and look at the Games Workshop like posts of what to do with these models, and 90% of the people who painted them and then sent the stuff in is like, yeah, check out my wasp. It's like, you bastards. No, they were in a hive in a bird feeder. They were like underneath the roof of the bird feeder. And it was a huge hive, too. By the end of it, it was massive. We actually, because it kept getting bigger, and we had a guy come out. We had, like, an actual, like, specialist come out to be like, what can you do about this? And he was like, well, what you're going to do is you're going to wait for winter. And then that's it. Like, you just... like, there's no easy way to handle this. Because there's just so many of them. And it's like already a pretty like complete wasp nest. Like, short of hitting it with a flamethrower, like, there's really not much you're doing. Which, I mean, that was my suggestion too. Oh no, we can't do that. The property value. So I bought a bee hat. So I can mow the yard with a bee hat on. And yeah, those things would still come for me. I'd drive by it. But late one night, after a while, we were like, hey, let's just put a tarp over top of it and bungee the tarp shut. So we did that, like, real late at night because they go to sleep. And they, like, don't like flying around in the dark and stuff because it's too cold. So we just walked out there, threw a tarp over it, and just bungeed it up. One of those, like, specialty tarps meant for grills, so it's like kind of a dome tarp already. Probably should have went out and got gloves. I ran out of them yesterday. I'm tempted to buy Silent Hill, chat, but I need to get painting done. Also, when Silent Hill 2 originally came out on the PlayStation 2, I played it for months. So, like, I recognized the want as, like, nostalgia. But at the same time, I'm like, I've already played that game a bunch. I know it's going to be a little bit different in a lot of ways, but, like, I've already played it. I played it for months. I don't think I want to get it again. I'm only saying that because this song kind of has that Silent Hill vibe to it. Alright, we gotta let those dry. So let me drain this. We're gonna pick some colors for the deployable terrain that I have here. Which the deployable terrain I had before that I'm still kind of going to use. I did a dark blue to a light blue blend with a mud brown basing. I think we might do the mud brown at the end again, because I kind of like that, just having like a little bit of mud along the bottom. But I don't think I want to do like dark blue to light blue again. That way I can have at least a different color for the two barricades that the opponent can have. And then these can all be like different colors. Maybe we do... Because I can do dark blue to light blue for these. And then we can do maybe like a red push or something for these. Like, or like a green, I don't know, like a khaki. Maybe a green. I'm so glad they moved out of that house, man. Not needing to mow that yard is like the highlight of my year. In their 60s, they were like, Evan, we're buying a barn. We're buying a whole farmland. I was like, why? Why? Oh, that's cool. Who are you going to get to maintain it? Oh, we were thinking you could do it. What? Maybe we do a brown to olive on this, I'm thinking. Because if we do brown to olive, I got all these other mini pieces of terrain that I can do that with. Because, like, we do need to finish the light components as well as the exposed components. And then we can start chroming the Vespids. I like Hearthkin. I like the new Hearthkin rules. I like them. They're pretty slow, but let me double check. Let me take this break while the primer dries. Let me take advantage of the fact that the Warcom page is currently up and active and actually not sucking. Oh, I do need to look at the Underworld stuff at some point in time today. I love Underworlds, and I know they massively changed it for the upcoming stuff, which means I'm probably going to have to buy the new set because it looks like it's going to be universal. Kill team. Hearthkin. Yeah. Hearthkin Salvagers. Leagues of Votann. Elite Hulk Delvers. So it's about the same here. Like, really nothing's changed, which is nice. I mean, your team's going to be the same. You're not going to get screwed over like the people who play Imperial Navy Breachers who suddenly have to make one extra unit. The fact that they, because of how measurement works now, they were able to get rid of the, hey, you move 5 inches. Because originally, so these guys were kind of screwed before, right? So they moved 4 inches. And then over here, it would say, if you're going to move, you get plus 1 inch. Not if you're going to charge. So charging was 6 inches, moving was 5. That was the original system. The original system for this. Now everyone gets to move 5, which means charging is 7. So it's a little better if you're going to go melee. Grudge maintains what it's supposed to be. It's fantastic. This is scary against elite teams because you can easily paint all the elites with grudge tokens pretty quickly and then just murder them. I got a phone call. Hang on. on, chat. I am stuck in a phone call. That was my mom calling me from Florida going, hey, we got the evacuation order and we're staying. And I was like, okay. What's this? All right. But yeah, Hearthkin. So losing the +1 inch only for move is great because now you have the 5-inch function. These aren't bad. These aren't bad. The increase APL, add 1 to attack if it's these are actually pretty good. This is kind of an alternate to what they used to have where everyone had -1 to a single dice of damage in melee on a point. I think only the warriors get that now. But like this helps control. It's going to be very hard to get points taken away from Hearthkin because they are a semi-horde team. Like they're semi-horde. They're not quite horde, but they're semi-horde. And this makes all of them count as basically 3 APL to controlling objectives. Yeah. But then the +1 attack. This is actually new. This makes melee on objectives to defend actually really good. Select 1 objective marker. Operative is within 3. Like, this is so stacking. Like, doing this with some good frontline meat tanks and then this on top of it for anyone coming in to try to kill them melee-wise is just like, yeah, you're not gonna have fun doing that at all. You're gonna get crit so hard by plasma knives, it's gonna be stupid. Because 9 times out of 10, you're gonna take plasma knives with this team as one of your equipments. Like, if the opponent is all ranged, maybe you don't. But if they have a couple melee units, there's no reason not to take plasma knives. They hit so hard. Whenever an operative is shooting friendly Hearthkin operative and roll defense, so roll 2 or more fails. If you roll 2 or more fails, reroll 1. This, I have never enjoyed rot defense. Rot defense before was basically a free reroll as well, but you have 3+ armor. Like, you have to fail twice. So if your opponent has a lot of pen, this is pointless. Because if you're only rolling twice, and like you only fail 1 because you have a 3+, like you'll never get this. This is probably still... No, yeah. It's pretty good with the +1. This is probably still one of the worst functional strategic ploys for them. Like, this is just garbage. This has never been good in my opinion. Compared to teams like Warp Coven who get -1 to incoming pen attacks. Like, it's so good. They probably got a nerf because of this. The knives. Or because of this. Because if they had +1 attack, that'd be way too much. It's way too many attacks. Whenever a friendly Hearthkin Salvager operative is shooting an enemy, this is the classic. Everyone loves this. Approximate firepower. Oh, it's so good. 3+ ballistic skill on those guns. Oh. Ancestors are watching. Until the end of the action, operative perform either a free shoot or free fight. This is still massive because I think Unwieldy's gone, right? Unwieldy's gone. So, like, this is now a little more open in a way to do, like, more fun stuff. It's about the same, probably. Use Firefight Ploy when friendly Hearthkin Salvager operative is incapacitated. It can perform a free mission action before it's removed from the kill zone. Yeah, always good. These are fantastic. Sturdy. Shooting at... I think this is this the really good one? Change the attacker's retain critical successes to normal. Uses Firefight when an operative is shooting a friendly operative. When you collect your defense dice. Okay, so this is good. This is one of those fun... What's up, Badger? Fun, good, but also not amazing ones. Because the changing of crit to normal happens after you retain your defense dice, which means dev wounds, piercing crits, all that has already been... Like, all that's already occurred. So you can't negate really good crit abilities, but you can negate the damage. So if someone's, like, wrecking you with a plasma gun... I had this happen to me in a game. Someone, like, annihilated me with a really good... high damage, low pierce weapon, or low AP at the time weapon, and I just sturdied it. I was like, nope, sturdied it, and then rolled all my saves. I was like, yeah, that's good. Engage, because he had like 2 crits, and I was like, nah. Engage to acquire. Use this friendly after rolling your attack dice for friendly hearth gun. If it's shooting against or fighting against an enemy that controls an objective, you can reroll. This is new, and it's really stupidly good. A 1 action point reroll anything or everything is always good to have a one-off. This is always good to have a one-off. So they did actually put the force field as a standard, which is good. This has saved my Thane so many times. Eyes of the Ancestor, this is still big that it's like core. Dropping the 1 grudge token or 2 if there are 3 or more friendly Hearthkin dead. All the weapons pretty good. I like the new shock, but I think shock could be better. I really wish shock was for every crit you hit with, you counter a dice. It would be so cool. It would just be so good. But yeah, all this basic stuff is just good. They have great piercing. I love that Accurate's on the Bolt now. Accurate 1 being on Bolter is so good for this team because Grudge plus Accurate is just way too powerful against low health, low armor units. Standard. They kept this kind of standard, I believe. It's a little bit better, I think. No, I think it's exactly the same. Ceaseless Lethal 5. I love the shock. I never used my field medic. I'm not gonna lie, I actually really don't like this ability. Every game I've ever had a friend playing with a medic, it's always been almost every turn I make sure both the medic and the person with the medic is at APL 1 because of the reduction in APL stat. I just constantly do it. Constantly. And I hate it. Like, if you're gonna lose a unit, lose the fucking unit. Rather than having 2 units be almost useless in the next turn. It's almost better to just have, like, not a medic. But I don't know. I do like Kasserkin medics, or at least I did. I have to take a look at them before, because usually you have the gunners with the Kasserkin medic, and then you have them all with the first aid kit, the adrenaline shot thing, that gives them no APL reductions when you use it. So, like, yeah, you just heal and then adrenaline, and it doesn't matter. That was like the only time I was okay with it. But for the most part, this never feels good. I don't know. This is great. I love seeing units in the army, in most teams, with this. Like the +1 to hit with access to the universals consistently. That's really cool. I love that. But yeah, the gunners. This being the... Yeah, he's got the good knife, but like, I don't know. I'd rather have a different unit. But these guys, I know the rotary doesn't do the no obscuring anymore, but there is a unit that basically does it for him. You have to have the unit near the gunner, and then that unit targets a person and then stays near the gunner to anti-obscure for them. No, yeah, medics usually follow plasma around, just because if the plasma kills itself, you can get it back up, or if somebody kills the plasma, because it is a high-value target. Most of these guns, though, are pretty good. I think, did they nerf Magna? I feel like the Magna was nerfed. Didn't this used to be like 7 or something? Thought this used to be crazy. It's still a good gun. And it's not unwieldy anymore, so you can dash shoot it. Saturate. See, here's the thing. Most heavy bolter style weapons have this now. Torrent 1. I think this is great. This is my favorite thing with Torrent now. Is like, you'll probably never get to use this because the average person will see you have that heavy bolter style weapon and go, well, I can't put anything within an inch of each other. That's great. And then you'll just won't get this. But if they do, because I love the concept of ceaseless, no cover saves, anything within an inch of your primary target is also going to get shot with the full 4 attacks, as opposed to being like, let me split these 5 attack ups between 2 people. No. This is so much cooler. And yeah, like all heavy bolter style weapons have this now. You don't have to group up in hallways. You always send out that sacrificial lamb right away. But yeah, Edikarn's still good. This feels better. I think this is the same, but for some reason it feels better. Didn't this used to just be a crack missile where it was like 4/5 piercing 1? I feel like this is better. And I feel like this is better. Because I thought this used to be 3/4 blast 2. It used to just be like a bolt gun. I don't know. This is great though. So the auto rifle used to just be a ceaseless bolt gun. But now it actually looked like 4/5 isn't bad. Especially with ceaseless rending. Like, I could see taking this on a unit you want to be more mobile. Because this would be the move, shoot, dash. Like, move, shoot using the enhancement, and then dash to get out of line of sight. Like, it makes this unit decent. Probably still won't use them that much, but yeah. It's just a las rotary. Don't worry about it. It's only got a torrent 1. 4/5 damage, line 4 attacks, 4 points. This guy took the nerf though. This is the big nerf for me. So this is how we understand fly now. This is basically fly. But it's only ever applied here. It's never applied here. Only ever applied here. That way they can be a little bit more open with mobility and just be like, no, it's this mobility. But like 8-inch total, great. It used to be 12. For his super jump, but they got rid of that too. So this guy's kind of nerfed. He's still good. I mean, he's a jump pack trooper. You really can't look at a jump pack trooper and go like, that's garbage. But I think what the big nerf was, if he charges, he doesn't get the extra 2. Yeah, no additional distance. So he can't go 10 inches for a charge. He can only go 8. So it's like a little nerfed, a little good. He's okay, I think. Lethal 5 with a 4/6 power weapon, hitting on 3s. Hitting on 3s baseline is not common for this team, so it's not bad. And then these guys, the Kinlink, the Cognitar, the Locatar. Like, I love this. I love how this works. I think they reduced it, right? Like, didn't they all have or 2 of them had a strategic gambit style thing before? Now only 1 of them does. Because I think this guy let you put his token onto the field at the top of the round. No, it was this guy, wasn't it? It was one of them. 300. This guy did it, but I thought the other guy did it too. But like, these are all really good. System Jam, fantastic. Signal, it's huge. These are all really good. So this is how it used to be that the Voxcaster guys used to be able to Voxcast themselves. This is now the norm for Voxcasters. Select one other. You can't Voxcast the unit that can plus APL anymore. So he can't be like, all right, for the cost of an APL, I go up an APL. That way I can control a point a little bit easier. They got rid of it, which is good in my opinion. It was like too weird. But yeah, these are fantastic. I love the whole like reroll function and marking targets, because then you mark an area with a bunch of enemies in it and they're just like, well, I'm getting hit by something. The Lugger though, this is fantastic when you consider that there is a strategic, the scouting card that also does that. So technically in approved ops, I believe, unless the card says otherwise, I'd have to look at it. This team can get 6 total equipment. You can go on Etsy. Apparently people just sell that. Or you can find a marble. I think somebody in our Discord did this, where they found a marble that perfectly fit inside the neck hole for these guys. So they just put a bunch of silver marbles in their neck holes. So they all have Mysterio helmets. But yeah, this, fantastic. You can't re-equip anymore. I loved the idea of re-equip before, but like, it's fine. This is fine. Because he's your little workhorse unit. And then, yeah, warrior. This used to be universal. It is now only for warriors, which it makes warriors useful to pick. But I think on average, right? So my list, what I take into most games is, of course, Hearthkin Thane. I usually go with a plasma weapon instead of the concussion gauntlet because I want to hit better. I want to have like more hit rate. But then sometimes I'll probably go Edikarn Plasma, but I think I have a version with an Autok Pattern Stormbolter, so I like both of those now. I do, because the auto hit is great if I'm going against low health, low armor save armies, and then this, of course, against elites would be a better option, but the auto hit one is just too good. And then down here, you know, you have to take basically Kinlink Cog, Lakadar. Lugger is definitely a good idea to take, and then you get your 3 gunners, right? So it's at the very least 3, 6, right? And then you only get 3 more, which is kind of a problem. Because, I mean, the Grenadier is fantastic. He is a game changer, in my opinion. So you kind of want to take him. Like I said, the Lugger is probably going to be a guaranteed take because you do want a workhorse unit, which means you have 1 unit to pick. I usually go Warrior because I'm going to throw a Warrior out there for bait, honestly. No, yeah, the Ironkin heads are good. It's just they don't give you enough. They definitely don't give you enough. You have to do like the space helmet one instead, which they should give you enough space helmets if that's what you're interested in. They all have that, the full space helmet. I only did physical heads on some of my specialists because I painted them gold. I liked the idea of like the Deep Rock Galactic gold skin dwarf situation. But yeah, let's get back to painting after this little walk. Woot. I know some of the helmets have an open visor which shows a face behind it, I think. Alright, so how are we doing this? So these need to be the dark blue to light blue to mud. And then these will be alternative. I should probably show you guys. I put in some work on the terrain pieces. We did Aldari Emerald for the red hall. The red hall doors and windows. We decided to do Aldari Emerald, as well as Burgundy for the vantage points. And then I found my Leviathan blue for this. And then, of course, we did the red, which I still have to do. Kind of the markups. But then we did a Warplock bronze on some of the basing components as well as the window frames. And then I decided to stick to Aldari Emerald for the small heavy pieces. I like the Aldari Emerald for like the metals. I did a little bit of freehand wiring. So yeah, we'll start gray blue and we'll just get these two done, I think. How do I want to do them though? Because honestly, I should probably just tape them down because we are going to zenithal. It's mostly an info dump, Tuno, and thank you. The how to play should be coming out probably by next week. I'm sort of organizing the thoughts right now for it because I kind of want to do it differently than I've seen most people do it. A lot of the videos I've seen just run through a turn real quick, and they're like, that's how it works. I kind of want to do it flowcharty because I love Underworlds for the flowchartiness that they've applied to it. Oh, that is such a good blue. Oh, that is such a good blue. Such a good blue-gray. But yeah, I love Underworlds for the flowcharty nature that it has in like all of its rules. And I kind of want to apply that to Kill Team a little bit. So hopefully next week I'll have a video out that shows kind of the flowchart of like, this is what you do in sequence. I just want to make sure I cover everything, because one of the big caveats I want to make sure people know is that a lot of the flow and rules, there's a lot of interrupt functionality in Kill Team. So, like, assuming that you're going to be able to do stuff uninterrupted is not, like, the way to go. And I kind of want people to understand that. Because, I mean, you have abilities on people that can counter stuff. You have ploys that can counter stuff. So I want to make sure people understand that, like, this is the flowchart, but consider there to be reactions in between a lot of these. But it's pretty easy because I'm gonna do the scout step, basically the first turn scout into strategy. And then we'll do a turn. We'll talk about all the elements that can occur in a turn in a simple flowchart system of pick, ready operative, perform actions up to APL limit, or APL limit is just a action point limit, so up to APL. I need to double check this actually in the rules. Expended units. I don't know if you can just pick a unit and then declare it expended, or if you actually have to perform actions with it up to your limit before it's declared expended, because there is some weird wording concepts. Like, I think guard, if I'm not mistaken, I need to double check that as well. Guard says it can trigger if an operative uses an action, but let's say someone goes on guard at the end of a turn, just before the last person goes, and that last person goes and then just declares itself expended. It didn't perform an action, therefore it should not trigger guard. I need to look at that. I need to dive in, dig deep, solve the riddle. But right now we're painting. Pale blue. Simple enough. So these should match the barricades I've already done for the most part, which is good. And then we got to figure out the other color scheme for the new ones. That way my opponent can kind of have their own deployables in a different color. So I keep trying to make 40K videos, but I keep not doing it. So I'm now following AOS because I love AOS. I follow 40K on average. I look at some cool stuff for 40K every now and then. Underworlds I'm also into. I gotta look over the report that they just did for Underworlds. Kill Team though is still like, I haven't played Kill Team in a while, or I hadn't played Kill Team in a while because I was playing 40K at tournaments and stuff. I was playing AOS with the new releases, and now I'm coming back to it for Hivestorm, and like, Kill Team's still my shit. I love it. I love it so much. It still feels better. Like, in strategy games, you probably know this if you play them. The more you feel at home with all the rules, and not just like the core game rules, but the other teams. Like, I know most of the other teams, at least their gist of what they do and how to deal with it. The more you have that, the better you're gonna do. And like, I play Kill Team games at the store and people barely can keep up. Just because I know their stuff and I'm like, I'm gonna counter you the whole time. Like, there's nothing you're gonna do to stop me. I got this. It's all down to dice rolls at that point. And I will not be taking unnecessary risks. And it's just so easy for me to like see where I'm going with the round. So 40k armies I own right now. I have a pretty much fully collected Thousand Suns. That is everything. That is Magnus, as many sorcerers as I could possibly want, both versions of Ahriman on foot and on disc. Full contingent of rubrics, almost a full, I think I'm 5 away. Nah, yeah. I think I'm 5 away from having a full contingent of Terminators. I have a full contingent Terminator Lords. Like, I have pretty much everything I need in that army completely, and I've got extra stuff because I started building and I finished a single list of Soulforged Chaos Space Marines. So I've got Mauler Fiends over there. I've got a Predator that I can shift. I've got Rhinos. I've got 30 Cultists. Like, I've got stuff. I can build a 40k Thousand Suns army in a bunch of different ways. I've got like 60 Zangors now or something like that. It's so much. It's so much. So I have that. I have about 3,000 points of Knights, which Chaos Knights specifically, which I painted like Thousand Suns because I wanted them to work together and have some nice visual crossover. So we've got about 2,500 points of Chaos Knights. I then, like I said, I built a Soulforged Chaos Space Marine army because I do really like mechanized armies, and I'm really hoping when the Thousand Suns Codex drops, we will have access to more tank-style detachments, which I would really prefer. What else? I have about 2,500 points of Gene Stealer Cult. And I have a little under 2,000 points of Chaos Demons, specifically Tzeentch Demons, because I wanted allies for my Thousand Suns. I've got a Kairos. I've got a Lord of Change, a bunch of blue horrors, some pink horrors, a bunch of screamers, Changeling, Fate Skimmer. Trying to think of what else. I have so much stuff. I have Zangor Shamans, but I mean those are more for Thousand Suns than anything else. They work for AOS though, which is great. So let's do an olive green for the enemy ones, or for one of the players. Yeah, like, there's a couple ways to collect for the game. Just in general. The way that's usually wrong to collect for the game is meta chasing, because by the time you're done, your army's going to be useless. It's not at all going to be like a viable team anymore. Like, the average person I know who's like, well, what can I purchase to play the strongest army? It's like, dude, by the time you're done gluing it and painting it to tournament standard, you're done. Like, it's over. Let's go dark brown into olive drab, I think. Yeah, I think that would be good. Yeah, go with what you like, so you can have all of it. All of it. That way, even if it's not the strongest army at the time, you have the ability to build a list that could potentially, because this is the fun thing with metas in games like this, it could potentially be a list designed to defeat the meta. Like, that's kind of a thing that I really enjoy in games like Magic the Gathering and stuff, is if you know the meta for what the average person's going to bring in terms of like, oh, it's heavy on vehicles, oh, it's mostly this rule, oh, it's, you know, you can look at it and go, okay, yeah. It's a bunch of low hit rate saturating shots, well, I think what I can do is I can bring a bunch of -1 to hit auras and suppression function, and we can see what works. Because you can be the counter meta if you have enough stuff. I mean, you probably won't win against all armies, but at the very least, if you keep getting put into the meta teams, you're going to keep them out of top 3, which is always hilarious. It is never not hilarious, in my opinion. Going to a tournament and just being like, oh, you're the medalist? This is not going to be fun for you. Why would you build that? You won't be able to beat any of the other teams. Yep. But you can enjoy not being on the podium. Because I always loved frickin' meta assassination teams. I'm trying to make a triple Mutalith Vortex Beast team work. I don't think I take Magnus in it. Magnus is strong individually, but I need more mechanics. Like, I need more point capture. I need more bodies on points. Just doing things and holding stuff down. So I gotta focus a little more on, like, Rubric squads. Maybe Ahriman. Some Exalteds. I think that could be cool. I just need the new detachments. I mostly play my Gene Stealer Cult right now. I prefer to play my Soul Forged as well, just because I want more Thousand Sun detachments. Because when you have a full collection like I do and like some of us do in chat, I want options. I want to be able to be like, I'm going to run this detachment today. And then pull the right units to really make that detachment sing. Like, I do really feel like you want to do that. But all I have is the magic detachment right now. Which is okay. But I do feel like if I go any of my, like, side weird lists, I'm not at all leaning into the detachment, and it feels a little weird. So these will be like the way I'm planning this. These are gonna kind of match my current player setup barricades, the ones on the left, and then these will be the new ones. That way, like, again, I try to do stuff that's fun for my opponents. Right? Like, I try to be like, here's your green deployables, and then I'll take my light blue deployables, and we'll know which one's which. A little bit more important in the prior rules where there was a attack op where you had to control an opponent's deployable. God, I'm hoping there's going to be a local tournament for this. I think I'm going to focus on Warp Coven for the first year. I do think I'm going to focus on them. And then move over to Higher Tech in year 2. Since it's basically the same thing. Unless, of course, 1,000 Sun Kill Team drops. Just out of nowhere. And they're just like, yep, here you go. Alright, let's get the mud near the bottom. Probably be a little bit of detail I can hit up on the actual components. I do believe, at least on the deployable barricades, that there tends to be like those little metal gearings on the back, which we'll probably paint brass or bronze at least. Sweet. Let's figure out real quick the color we want to make this stuff. And then we got to get the chrome painted on the Vespids. We could just do a straight up gray. And actually just layer out a gray, like different shades of it from different angles, because I do need to hit the outer edge of the stone with one of the shaders I have, Drachenshade, which is pretty much going to be my ground color, Drachenshade. So there's a neutral gray and then a light gray. So this will just kind of be OSL prepped, I guess, or not OSL prepped, but contrast prepped, because I do have some contrast colors that I'll probably apply to things like this surface, maybe a couple of the boxes. But yeah, what teams is everyone playing this season? This first year? What you guys thinking? Who are you going to be playing? Are you going to try to get a team you're going to play for like 3 years straight with one of the new teams? Like, are you interested in the Aquilans or the Vespid? Or at least grabbing like a possibly 2 or 3 year, like from the last season, the Beta Decima season. You're gonna go Wormblade? What are you gonna go when the Wormblade are gone? Do you mostly like the Wormblade for their ability to just like appear on the table and be obnoxious? Because you could probably go like Mandrake or something. Oh, Hand of the Archon, actually. Not a lot of people talk about the Hand of the Archon, but I feel like Hand of the Archon play kind of like Wormblade in a couple ways. They have similar ambush tactics, at least. Just straight into Brood Brothers. GSC Fnatic style. I like some of the Brood Brothers rules, but they didn't really appeal to me overall as much as the Wormblade did. I need to look at how they are now. I loved the concept of the Patriarch mind controlling an opponent. That was really cool. That was a very unique take on what a team should be able to do. Breachers are rough sounding, man. Like, reminder, as far as I can tell, if you had a squad of Breachers prior to this, right? Let me get new tape down. If you had a squad of Breachers prior to this, you do not have a squad of Breachers. It's like, they give you, what, 10 and you need 11? That's insane, man. I love that they upped it because it's like, oh, let's balance. But at the same time, where am I? Is there like a one-off Breacher unit I can get my hands on? That'd be great. Thank you. I put a lot of effort into painting my Breachers to be like firefighters, standing on like a blue gooey world, which I thought was fun. And now I gotta paint another one? Are you kidding me? Like, we just painted the breachers, too. I held off painting them because I never really felt like playing them. Then I was like, maybe. Now here we are. I mean, granted, they kind of did the same thing with my Warp Coven, but thankfully I play Thousand Suns, so it doesn't really matter. I only glued together dual blade wielding Zangors, as well as a couple Zangors with Great Blades, an Icon Bearer and a Horn Bearer, and now they're like, hey, you can use shields. And now I'm just like, I'd rather use shields then, because they look really cool. I'd like having two guys with shields running up the middle. That'd be great. They'd be great to fish with because people could charge them and they might survive a round. Like, it's a whole thing. All right. Try to only really hit the top areas with this, just to brighten up some spots. Because, yeah, with this being black and white like this, I'm going to basically go into my contrast. So I can hit up things like ammo boxes and stuff with greens. Alright. The big event. The main reveal. Now that the black primer is dry, I might actually want to zoom in for this, if I'm being real. Chrome. Oh, it's gonna look so weird at first until I actually finish it up. I have the full plan. The full plan does involve making the gooey underbutt a glowing color, as well as the wings. The only reason I'm okay doing this is because I have little to no plans to play Vespid. Like, little to no plans. So, if this doesn't pan out, I don't feel like I'm put out, right? Like, I don't feel at all bad about being like, oh well. Let me focus in for you guys. We don't need to hit this bottom part, because I am going to probably have to hit that with white later. Oh my god. Oh my god. That kind of looks beautiful, actually. Wish there was an easier way to assemble these. Because I kind of wanted to do the characters separate as Chrome and then actually work on like the basing and the guns and stuff on their own. What up, Quendy? What'd you do? You screw up? You make a mistake? You use a friend's bits that he was planning on using, but you kit bashed it, and now he can't use them anymore? You drop $400 on a box just for like one extra part for a kit bash, and then realize the error of your ways later? Oh. Yeah. Wounds in the line of battle. What color do we want to paint the drone? Because it doesn't need to be these colors. I almost screwed this up, by the way. I had no idea how to glue this hand. I thought the hand had to be glued to the side here. So I was like, oh, let me just glue it there. Then I looked over. I was like, what the hell is this? Make sure everything that needs to be chromed is chromed. Look at that. I will not be doing a Hello Kitty Tao themed drone. No. I get that it can be kind of awesome, but I will not be doing it. See what we can do with this guy, because he's the stealth one. I can get Aethermatic Blue and, like, kind of make him seem, like, slightly off. At least for the armor pieces. Because the armor pieces are all painted in chrome, so you can do a contrast over metallic concept with those elements. 2 more. Then I might actually put some time in. Get some painting done. So we can at least see what one of these will look like kind of finished as a model. Not so much the basing and all that. Basing, I'm going to have to spend some time today putting texture paste down. Dude, that chrome is so bright. Finally got shipping confirmation for my anti-shine matte varnish. Which is perfect timing considering all the terrain I'm finishing up right now that really needs to be varnished before I start using it heavily. So this last guy, we could technically chrome as well and then just do... and then do contrast over top of it. But I don't know. I kind of want them to be matte. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe like a mud brown to a khaki. Just like a standard towel color. Nothing really mind-blowing. Classic khaki towel. Might have to do more. Chrome is kind of hard to get out of here. Chrome, like, just the pigment for it just exists. It never really seems to want to, like, go away. There we go. Pretty much everything is airbrushed once this guy is done. We'll be able to move over to just general painting. Classic. I mean, that is such a classic. Like, honestly, you could probably airbrush Mud Brown from Vallejo over all your towel, and it would just look like towel. Like, no one would question it. No one would bat an eye. Maybe you hit it with, like, a red shader or something, like a Reikland shade, and then you're just done. Let's check this sand yellow that I have. Yep, that's 100% tau. That can't be anything other than tau right there. Check this sand yellow. Oh yeah, that's like enough of a khaki. Boom. Flawless. Me. Perfect. Perfect. Now I've got all these airbrush colors I gotta put away later. And shut off the air compressor. Loud noise in 3, 2. Chrome metallic, Vladix. Chrome metallic. Pull this out. This is the airbrushing of all terrain for Hive and the Vespid team, which is the only of the 2 teams I have built, is complete. So we're probably going to want to do white paint blocking. We can try to do this with 1 unit. We'll figure out 1 unit and then we'll go from there. So we can at least see kind of an end goal. White paint. Let me get my water cup. I think this guy assigns himself as tribute. My brush is over here. So, a couple things we're gonna need to hit with white, just to prep it. It's gonna be this base here, because we are going to hit it with contrast once the texture paste dries, and the texture paste will dry white as well. I was thinking magenta to pink. So kind of the core, and maybe I can zoom in more. I'm sure. Then the major areas on the model itself I'm going to need to block white are going to be the wings, the gun, and the squishy part on the butt, I think. Like this part down here. Probably going to be the goal. Because the gun we're probably going to hit with a orange contrast that I have. Make sure to hit the right spots here. We also need to hit the eyes. Yeah, this was going to be rough for detailing. Kind of figured. gooey part of the butt done. Keep forgetting their little backpacks. Cute little mind control backpacks. Elevator music. Hell yeah. Did they say how much the Underworld's box is supposed to be? Because, yeah, I'm probably going to have to get it if it's new decks of cards that are universal. Let that dry a little bit. We could kind of just go around all of them. Let me take a look at this guy real quick since he is kind of the one-off little dude. Get his base going. Definitely put too much white in this. We should try to just block in at least all the foot rocks with what kind of white we have going. Get at least some of it done. That way I can hop right into the texture paste. I do love how dynamic they are, because they have the same kind of, like, jumpy, like, off-of-terrain concept as the Harlequins. And these are kind of like Harlequins 2.0, because having fly for a full team that can just do whatever the hell it wants, way too strong. So the fact that the Harlequins got kinda nerfed, they're still pretty mobile, like conceptually speaking. They're still very mobile as a team. But, like, you put these guys next to Harlequins visually, and it's all the same thing. It's all just rocks, and they're all kicking off the rocks. Which is cool, but also horrifying. Because you drop one of these, your first thought is, well, there goes one of the ankles. You have to glue a super tiny ankle to another ankle. Hopefully you have a pinning vise and some small pieces of metal. That way you can reinforce it. I haven't even really thoroughly looked at the rules. I know the gist is you have to spend communion points. And kind of any team's goal is to try to kill the leader. Because if you can try to figure out how to kill the leader turn 1 or turn 2, you're in a good situation. What? What up, Andy? Hey man, you like the smooth jazz? I mean, this is more Switch game menu music right now. Like every song from an Atlas game go. Or friggin' Persona. I love that the Persona format is just to be like, hey, let's do a lot of the stuff Cowboy Bebop did with style blending. And everyone will call us a genius. my playlist. Probably have to add more white to the palette so I can try to finish off all these bases. This time I need to not overshoot the amount. That'd be great. Now I want to see it. I want to see what our plan actually ends up being. Here's the thing. If I go magenta to pink, it's not really going to look too different. I think I've done it before in magenta to pink. So, that being said, I think we go magenta to chartreuse. The eyes will probably be magenta completely, but the wings will have, I think, and the squishy part of the butt, of course. Pop into this chartreuse. Sort of like dragonfly-esque. actually apply shifter paint. Yes, chrome is going to be the absolute primary color of these guys. I was debating tinting it with a contrast, but I don't know. I think it's completely fine to stand on its own. It looks good enough in my opinion. And it sort of makes the lighting in the room kind of like their general color scheme. Since chrome really reflects that. Like, you guys probably see it as like a little whitish yellow right now, just because the overhead lights are that color. But if I play an alternative color in light, I could probably show you in a second. It has like really fun special effects that occur. To pick up some spots, make it a little more patchy. Get back in there with some chartreuse. So like you apply like lighting color to it, and it just does like really fun metal reflection. It has like almost hard edges. Magenta for the eyes. Boom. Squishy butt, and then we do the gun and the little backpack. I think how we're gonna handle the squishy butt component is we're gonna do the middle in yellow. And we're going to kind of border it in magenta. Boom. So those are the core colors for that. Now the trick is, he does have a little crystal in the tip of his gun, which we could do a different fluorescent color for. Just a little bit. Because their whole thing is to have a crystal that resonates with their wings. Making the guns hit harder when they move. Which I gotta look into it. I genuinely think you can declare that the unit moved and then just leave it in the same spot. Just be like, yeah, it moved 3 inches that way and then 3 inches back kind of deal. Maybe not. Maybe the actual move roll makes it so that they have to like reappear somewhere else. Resonance crystal. The color I was thinking to make their weaponry, gonna be kind of like pseudo tau-ish. It's called Nuclear Sunrise. It's a speed paint. So the question is, do we actually go for that? Because right now, the gun is green. The wings are kind of like magenta to orange to yellow. I could... I don't know. Does it feel right? Oh, thank you. Because the ground's going to be like a dark blue, I think. Either that or a Garagax Sewer Brown. Probably fine. I feel like it's a dark enough orange that it shouldn't clash too much. Let me try the backpack first at least. That way I can cover it with white if I don't like it. This little tube here is probably going to be turned into a different color eventually. that dry, but we do want to do the canisters different colors. Most likely it's going to be a pretty dark color. I am thinking Leviathan blue for the basing. See how that looks. Let's find, what do we want to do? Maybe Black Templar? I feel like Black Templar is too easy. I mean, it's just going to make it like a hard black, right? I kind of want to leave the metallic up to the chrome on the skin, and that's it. Like, I don't want to add more metals, right? Like, adding more metals will just feel really weird. Get a hefty helping of Cloudburst Blue, which is kind of close to Leviathan, but maybe that's fine. They've shown a lot of Death Guard stuff. Like, you can use, so Death Guard in general are 32 millimeter bases. If you have Death Guard, you can just use them. as Legionary, and the marks actually provide you a pretty consistent benefit that's kind of in line with the newer version of Feel No Pain in Kill Team, which is to roll a dice for every dice an enemy hits you with, and then see if you like negate damage from it. Just one dice though, not like all the dice. So you can kind of run Death Guard as Legionary, which is what I think they want you to do. But on the Phobos side of things, there was a Phobos image that involved specifically the Death Guard from the Heroes line. And the Heroes line Death Guard, I mean, maybe they're going to do a Heroes line Death Guard kill team because how Justian got kind of folded into the Angels of Death. Maybe they want to try to make the Death Guard team actually feel like, you know, it's not per damage, it's per dice now. I can show you it in a second. Let me just get this. Might want to highlight it with a blue as well. Once the speed paint's dry, maybe we'll give it like an actual highlight from like a Temple Guard or something. Yeah. Time is it? 1:42 or 1:43? We're doing good. Yeah. So. Things to look at. Things like Chaos Cults. Things like... Where are you guys? Gellerpox. Legionaries. So, you go to the marks. Nurgle. Whenever normal damage of 3 or more is inflicted, roll a dice. On a 5+, subtract 1. So this is basic bolter damage, which means every time a bolter shoots you, whenever normal damage of 3 or more. So that's per dice. So if somebody throws like 3 dice out and you only save like 1 somehow, miraculously, well, miraculously for the person shooting at you. So they throw 3 dice out, you only save 1. There's 2 dice coming at you, you roll 2 dice. On a 5+, the 3 damage goes to 2, or the 4 damage will go to 3. It just reduces it by 1. This is kind of the new Feel No Pain, because the old Feel No Pain was straight up like, oh, well, that's 6 damage, let me roll 6 dice. And it was so swingy that Feel No Pain felt very, very oppressive, is how we'll put it. Because what would happen is you could have like a really big hulky person, and then someone will roll like 20 damage into them. Now, they might have expended command points, team currency of some kind. Like, let's say you're a Kasserkin, you run up on someone with a Melt-A-Gun, and then you burn a bunch of currency to make sure that Melt-A-Gun crits like 3 times. Like, you do all this, and you're like, all right, this has to kill it. And then that person goes, man, that's 25 damage. That's crazy. Then they pick up 25 dice, roll it, and they only take 2 damage. You cannot, in a strategy game, really lean into the concept of like, oh, well, I won't be able to kill anything they have. Like, if that's what you're thinking, like, why are you playing? Like, it's not even a real game at that point. This mitigates that, because if you're about to do a ton of damage to someone, you can at least look at it and go, oh yeah, I got this. Not only that, but this is for whenever normal damage, right, of 3 or more. That means crits get through this. So if someone crits you, it just goes through. As well, it's only for the damage dice itself, which means if there's some other like kind of thing that triggers, which normally would be crits, so it wouldn't matter anyway, that won't happen. Like, you won't deal with that. So this is kind of like a big nerf to Feel No Pain in a way where it won't feel so oppressive to teams that don't have it. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Gellerpox. Techno. They're all different. I need to look at this because they are vastly different now. Where are you? I think it's actually up here. Oh, yeah, here we are. Whenever an attack dice, so these guys are a little bit better. It's not normal, it's attack dice, which means normal and crit. Inflicts damage of 3 or more on a friendly Gellerpox Hulk. Roll a d6. On a 5, subtract 1. So, like, the dice itself has to inflict the damage. I think this does not involve things like devastating wounds. I think. Because it's the retention of the dice, which you could look at it and go, yeah, so the retention is a form of this, followed abruptly by, like, the dice doing the damage, and then you'd be able to, you know, roll the dice. Although, if I'm not mistaken, I think a critical Melt-A-Gun wouldn't be able to have a Feel No Pain rolled against it. Where are they? Oh no, there it is, 3. I thought it was 2. Sometimes this damage is lower than the normal. And when that happens, it's usually because this number is huge. But if this was a 2, you wouldn't be able to Feel No Pain the 2. Which is kind of funny. Chaos Cults. Where are... Because these guys are a little different as well. Mutants. Cursed Mutant, and Unnatural Regen. Attack dice, so it's the same thing. 3 or more. So this is basically Feel No Pain now. You saw it on the Gellerpox. Here it is. Same exact thing. Yeah, we're hoping. We're hoping Death Guard get a cool rule set. If not, yeah, you can just run them as Legion. Legion's not that bad. Especially mono. Like, if you mono Death Guard on Legion, it's not really the worst, honestly. I think we're gonna maybe Temple Guard layer paint this. Yeah, the excessive... Oh, no, Lothrin's really light. The excessive amount of dice that happens in Feel No Pain rolls in Kill Team is just too much. It would ruin the flow of the game for a lot of people who are trying to keep things going, and then, like, a person's like, alright, let me count 20 dice. And it's like, alright, great. Especially for teams where it was like Feel No Pain 6, and you were just like, why are you rolling that? Why are you Feel No Pain painting the 4 dice I just did damage, or the 4 damage I did to you with a 6+ Feel No Pain? Like, God, it just felt like so stupid. Makes me wonder if they actually kind of buffed the Hand of the Archon Feel No Pain, if Hand of the Archon still has it. No, yeah, it was funny. It was mostly funny because no one ever really, like, expects it. And in the old rules, you could technically... What I would do occasionally is I would send, like, into an open area. I would send the icon bearer and then, like, put him in conceal behind another death guard. So that he could reroll the feel no pains as like a human shield, because you could technically get cover from allies in that situation. Can't anymore. Unless that ally specifically has like a rule. The breacher shielder, if one ally is within an inch of it and the breacher is intervening, you can't target the other one. No, yeah, Bulgrim and Ogren, right? Making people pretty sure that they might be the first 5-man elite team. Which could be neat. Because it could end up being like you have 5 Geller Poxhawks on the field and they're just running across the field, basically. Just nigh unkillable, but maybe scoring isn't really in your plan on main objectives. Maybe it's just like get to enemy, kill enemy. What do you mean? Are you talking about like the core rules? Yeah, they didn't actually release the core rules separately as a free download. It kind of felt like they were going to with how they worded things, but because I know Mountainside, I think they also pre-recorded their how to play thing off of the leaks, like I did. But I went into it under the assumption that we weren't going to get the rules for free. That was like my assumption of what Games Workshop was going to do, is that the core rules weren't going to be free. I have like jazz and stuff going in the background. It might, sometimes it does hit Christmas music because it is technically... Nah, we're good. This is more like SNL's opening. Yeah, I figured that they weren't going to do it. So when everything came out and I didn't see the actual like rulebook, I was like, yep. Which is why, I think why the Mountainside tabletop video was them saying you can get the rules for free. It's because they assumed the other way. And I was like, Kind of sucks. But I do think they want you to get the core rulebook. Core rulebook comes with all the tokens. So at the very least, I think they want you to purchase a core rulebook so you can have the right tokens for the game, if you don't already have them. No, yeah, the rules will... Anything that isn't... I mean, even the stuff that is, but anything that isn't online right now for, like, on Games Workshop's website to just look at, it'll probably get uploaded. Like, Games Workshop's been fighting against the free rules websites for a while to try to, like, figure out how to stop them. Which is why they've all moved to, like, parts of the world where the law doesn't matter. Like, at the end of the day, if they just released the rulebook, like, PDF digitally, it would have been over. Like, for specifically Kill Team. Because, like, why would you need to go to a website to look at the rules if you could just go to Games Workshop and get it? But no. I think I do want to do shifter on the wings themselves. Good thing one of my shifters is pink and yellow. It's like perfect. Maybe we do the squishy butt with it too. Making them split-second decisions. There we go. A little bit of metallic shimmer across the whole board. I'm actually kind of debating painting the drone white and not doing the airbrush that we did to it, and doing the gun color just to make it all match. Yeah, man, chrome. It is 2:24. I've been streaming for over 3 hours. This is a good tester model. I think we're gonna just try to finish the rest of the squad out in this way. We have a little bit to do with the components we did paint for terrain, specifically. Probably gonna get ready to go so I can get some food. Oh, thank you. They were hella easy to make. I'm all about hella easy. Anytime I can crack the code and paint something that looks really cool in next to no time, I'm always down to clown. Over the chrome? Well, no, it's not over the chrome. Basically, we did the chrome through the airbrush, and then anything that wasn't going to be chrome, we hit with white. Like, I went back in with the Pro Acryl white. Blocked it out that way. And then it was just fluorescent magenta and fluorescent chartreuse. You'd start with the chartreuse from the inside, and then you would pull it to the outside. You would leave the edge, like the outer edge of the wing, white, and then you would take the magenta and you would go the other direction from the outer edge of the wing in a little bit. You would kind of blend it over top, and then you would wet the brush, clear it off, and then sort of pull magenta back up. Yeah, like, so the base was chrome, and we just put Pro Acryl down. So the idea is, you know, once we start getting into these, I'm basically just gonna get the Pro Acryl white in, and we're just gonna brush the gun to full white, the backpack to full white, whiten the eyes, and then the wings and the inside of the little squishy part of the butt, because that's kind of how it plays out. I am going to need to call stream, though, in a little bit, because if I don't, I'm just going to keep painting, and I'm, like, I have not eaten since, like, 9 a.m. It's been hours. Hours. I will straight up starve myself. I need to get to scripting the new video, so we gotta do that. I feel like it'll be shorter than an hour. I'm aiming for about 25 to 30 minutes. The team itself? Nah, I mean, what do you want to know about them? I can do that real quick. I'm clinging, man. I'm clinging into this stream. I haven't really dove into the new Vespid team personally. I know kind of the gist of them, and it makes them a little uninteresting to me because it's almost like, due to the fact that they sort of play themselves, they kind of run with most of the NPO behaviors. You have to sort of force something to happen to be able to do something yourself. There's a level of it where your opponent can outplay you by forcing you to have to use communion points to, like, stop something from occurring, instead of on what you might want to use them on. Yeah, we can talk about these guys. I can pull their info up, because they are really cool. They hit really hard. Let me come over here. Vespid Stingwings. Oh, yeah. Mind control bug people. But yeah, neutron charge, you move, you get piercing one. Fly. Fly in general is pretty cool because you actually just, like, fully remove the unit from the field now. It doesn't just say, like, you can go over people and horizontal distances. Because Old Fly technically would be interacted with things like landmines and traps, even though you're supposed to be above them. So, New Fly. You do not get additional distance anymore with New Fly for charge, so these guys are kind of restricted to their normal move, which is 6. The drone is 8. It's weird that it's 6, considering I imagine these guys are more agile than Aldari, and Aldari are 7. But gotta keep things in line. Can't overpower anyone too much. So you gain D3 communion points +1 if oversight drone is in the field. So you kind of like have to hide the oversight drone. Can that even... Operative cannot perform any actions other than aerial guidance, which is this. Charge, dash, fallback, fight, reposition. So this thing can control an objective, but it can't pick stuff up or drop things. Or trigger mission actions. So he's kind of like a meh workhorse. Vespids singing operative visible to him within 6 inches of operative is shooting an enemy operative. Visible. So you kind of need to move this, activate this for its buff. To gain saturate, which is really nice. Operative is performing a shoot action. It can only target the closest enemy operative within 8 inches. So, like, this kind of screws you over. It makes all your guns pistol, pretty much. And it has to be the closest operative. Specifically, closest enemy operative within 8 inches. Control range. Unless it spends a communion point. So, problem here. Little bit of a problem here. Is, problem is this. If you have an opponent here and an opponent here, unless you spend, if this opponent's in conceal, it's outside of 2 inches, therefore you're not going to be able to actually shoot it. Like, you can't shoot that guy. But then there's that guy in the open over there, right? You can't shoot it unless you spend a communion point to then shoot it. Like, do you see the issue here with the rule? It sucks. And, like, this is what I'm saying. Your opponent can mess with you. Like, if you're playing Hearthkin, you can technically send the jump pack guy all the way up and put him in, like, a crazy position in conceal in a way where even if these guys use their ability to fly straight up and shoot from vantage, technically, like, all they have to be in is heavy terrain and conceal. And, like, none of this matters. Like, you just have the one guy all the way up. You basically ruin the whole Vespid team's ability to do stuff without having to spend communion points. Whenever a friendly Vespid operative performs charge, it must finish the action within control range of closest enemy operative. So, I mean, you can charge, but again, it has to be close. And the jump pack trooper is pretty good in melee. What's up, Long Furby? Whenever you perform pickup marker, you have to spend a communion point in order to pick up. There are a lot more missions now that involve pickup. Pickup and drop used to suck. Like, it was really abusable by 2 GA teams. I did go over that pretty heavily in the video I put out. So they changed it. So now we're seeing a lot more of it, and this team's not great with it. Their one workhorse unit can't do it. And these guys, you have to spend points to do it, of which you're only really going to get like 2 or 4. The way they talked about it during the overview of how this team works, this team's less about missions, more about killing. So you kind of have to make them the killy team. Which could be okay. Whenever a friendly Vespid Stingwing operative shooting, you can spend 1 communion point to reroll. So that's kind of cool, the free reroll function. This is useful, but I genuinely don't think you get enough communion points in a round. Because these go away. Communion points are used to maintain. If a ready step, each strategy phase, remove all. See, they go away. If they stacked, it would be cool. I don't think Reavers fear anymore. Reavers are just good in general. I don't think they fear anymore. But there are units that will increase the AP cost, so yes. I'm pretty sure there's units. I think I saw one. I think the Psychomancer still does it. Phobos. Wee. I think Reaver's got a different thing that's really good, but not the fear. Yeah, so they all come with grab shoots and grapnels, which is really good. Just massive mobility. Once per turning point, one friendly Phobos can perform. Yeah, so free. So they don't get the fear, but they can pick up for free. So, like, this is actually huge. Because you get 3 APL, and then technically if you're going to run up and do stuff and grab the thing, it's free. Which is really big if you go all Reavers. There's a rule. Well, not a rule. There's a mission where every single time an enemy dies, it drops a token and you can pick it up. So you basically just slam into someone with a melee Reaver and then pick the token up. Like, that's just how it is. You just go, slam into them, kill them, pick the token up. Like, you basically charge, fight, maybe shoot a dude, and then pick the token up. No, they don't. Dude, they don't have fear. Their fear is gone. Pretty sure their fear is gone. Because army rules... Oh, here we are. Actually, maybe. Oh my god, so they are god tier. They're god tier then. Reavers are basically just the best. They'll control an objective easier, and then, like, they can pick it up easy. You 100% want Reavers. I think. At least 2. Probably not a Reaver leader, but you could go a Reaver leader. I'm pretty sure there's no kill leader mission anymore, so going a Reaver leader is just, like, really good. You just send them in. I think Phobos are still really strong. Hopefully we see more Phobos interaction going forward. Friendly. This was weird. So their rule was if they move, they get No. Where's the -1? This kept happening during a mission I was watching. Maybe it was a strategic ploy. Operative is fighting, retaliating, normal damage of 4, inflicts 1 less. That's really good. This is passively really good against pretty high damage teams. When operative shooting a friendly Vespid, operative while counteracting or during an activation in which the shooting operative moved or was set up, roll 1d6 5+ ignore the inflicted damage. So this is the whole dice. This is it. Aerial agility. And I think there's a leader. I think there's a leader that lets you use this for free. Whenever a friendly Vespid Stingwing operative performs an action in which it moves during its activation, weapons are balanced. Always good. Sting, operatives, claws, lethal 5, and shock, which isn't bad. Fireflight. Operative reposition until the end of that action. It can move an additional D3. Or be set up an additional D3 away. It cannot perform fight or shoot. Use firefight ploy when friendly Vespid Stingwing's operative shoots. Activation in which it fly until the end of that action. When selecting a valid target. This is the one where you're all the way up, I think. Treat the friendly operative as being, yeah, vantage and 3 inches higher than it currently is. For the vantage benefit. No, they are. They are, but they have, like... So they have reduced damage in melee. They have ignore a whole dice of normal damage. So they have functions to be better. Neutron overload. Use firefight ploy when operative
that is shooting with a neutron weapon during an activation in which it has moved or used fly. Target is within 4 of it. Inflict D3 additional damage. Just run up and shotgun it, dude. Just blow. Dead. Because their damage is really good, to my understanding. Like, it actually has a chance to do more damage than a bolter. Uses firefight play when friendly Vespids Stingwing operative is fighting and strikes a critical. Inflict D3. So Vicious Venom plus Sting. Pretty good. So their claws hit as hard as bolters. Their neutron blasters baseline do have the same stats, like 4-3 with 3 damage. Crit rate they will go above by 1. And the dev wound thing is kind of useful, actually. When selecting your operatives in battle, also select Vespids Stingwing strategic. So I'll select 1. So yeah, you can select a strategic ploy whenever this operative. So you pick one of your strategic ploys you want to constantly use. And this guy gets, he gets to spend an extra communion point for free. So he's going to be sort of your big workhorse for missions. Let me check something here. Yeah, I think that kind of sucks. Where's the other guy? So they hit on 4s. They have the same attack rating as the Hearthkin, which everyone complained about, as well as Kasserkin, which everyone complained about. Only the leader has the 3+ from ranged, it looks like, or the sniper using aimed, which means you can only dash. Which, I mean, yeah, you're probably going to use this. This guy gets 8-inch move. Look at that. And a 2+ save. Holy crap. What's cool is this doesn't say you can't roll the full defense dice, which means this guy gets full defense dice whenever something shoots it. It's not like how the Gellerpox little guys worked before where they were only 2 defense. This guy's a full 3 dice, 2+ save. So yeah, you basically pick one of these. The guy that I was watching picked aerial agility, so he always had aerial agility up and running for damage mitigation, which is probably really good. It's probably a really good idea. The target of the weapon is incapacitated, but you resolve any dice. Target gains one of your neutron fragments tokens. Separately inflict D3 damage of each operative. Oh, dear God. So you just need to tag targets with this. You don't need to kill them necessarily. You just need to hit a target with this. And then that target's just taking D3 for the rest of the game. For each... Yeah. Damage of each operative for each... Oh, you can put more tokens on them too, it looks like. But yeah, you can just... For elites, you basically would harass one target with this. Maybe to kill it by turn 2 or 3. Or you could just spread it out and just start injuring people like crazy. These guys do a lot of damage over time. That plus this, I think, that creates the area effect D3. That's pretty crazy. This guy, while in conceal, cannot be targeted outside of 6. So this is kind of like the first almost lone op character for this game. And he has a range 6, but he also has a range 8. So you can kind of range 8 people and not get return fired necessarily. Although I don't think... Yeah, he doesn't have silent. So it's kind of rough. It would be kind of rough for him to do that. Ignore the piercing weapon rules and all... Whenever an operative is shooting this operative. This rule has no effect if selected. So Blast gets around this guy. But even when you're in Engage, this is really good. Sky Blast. It's cool because this is almost the range of an objective. So you can put it kind of to one side of an objective to make it so that the opponent has to move closer to you if they don't want to take damage. But like, in general, I mean, it's pretty good. Blast 2, not bad. Torrent 2. This is the one where you can just fly over top of people and do damage to them, which is nice. Super nice. The flamethrowers are always good. Torrent, dude. I mean, I get it. I guess it's because it is this. Like, they'd rather not have you target things outside the range just because you go over top of them. But, like, why even say it, man? Just mark all targets. I guess... Oh, actually, no, I know why. I know why. Close quarters. It makes it lethal 5. That's kind of cool. It's, like, dumb, but kind of cool. Alright. But yeah, you just fly over top of them, do damage. Vespid Warriors. Whenever an operative is shooting, if you don't spend commune points during a sequence, its Neutron Blaster has accurate 1. So these guys get accurate 1 and what else? Piercing 1. If they move, they get accurate 1, piercing 1, which is pretty good for a for this kind of a gun here. It's not bad. I mean, it kind of sucks because you want crits, and that's just a way to guarantee a hit. You almost want to roll that, sort of. I don't know. It's not bad. What we got down here? Ready step of each strategy phase. When determining how many community points you gain, you can roll 2d3, select 1 to use. I feel like you want this almost every game. Every game where you actually need to pay points to do missions or pick things up, you want this 100% of the time for that. Convergence. Once per turning point, a friendly Vespid Stingwing operative can perform this pickup marker on a mission action when you're spending a communion point. Jesus. So yeah, if you're doing a mission that involves action points for pickup or mission, these every time. That's 2 points, which I kind of get. Sort of. What else do we got here? Whenever friendly oversight drone uses melee weapons have ceaseless. This isn't the worst, but you could probably avoid this. For the most part, you wouldn't really need it. Accelerant, stimulant. Whenever friendly Vespid Stingwing operative excluding oversight drone performs a charge or dash, it can move an additional 1. Ooh, nice. So you just get 7 base on a charge or a dash. Or 7 base on charge, 4 on dash. Which is pretty good. I feel like this is your 3 points of gear. Like, you almost want those 3 things at all times. And then, honestly, I would probably spend a point on... I know in the mission they used, I think, frag and crack grenades. But if you really look at frag and crack grenades, they're just not good. 4+ to hit is not good for 4 attacks at that damage output. I feel like you could almost, against most opponents, yeah. I would go with this bad boy. This thing is awesome for Vespid and anything that has the fly function. And since Vespid have full team fly, you get the fun function of not needing to be within an inch of it. Because their fly explicitly says you measure the distance to where you want to go, right? And then this gets fully removed from the field and then set up over there. So at no point in time does this model pass through the 1 inch it needs to in order to slow down. So like against almost any team, you could chuck this on the field in a really crucial place for that team to go and just be like, screw you guys. And it's just so obnoxious. Because you're not going to be using cover that much as Vespid, or you'll use regular cover. You don't really need other cover. And then you can just pop up and down as you see fit. But like, I feel like this is the big thing. This is going to be like probably the big deployable. They didn't use this deployable in the game that we watched, but I think it would work really well. But yeah, 230. I'm liking what we decided on for the Chrome Vespid. I'm going to get texture paste on all their bases off stream, and then we'll just, you know, maybe stream tomorrow, maybe not. I feel like the terrain's almost all done, which is good. I'm going to have the varnish on hand very soon, which is really good, since we have so much stuff I need to varnish. And then I'm going to have to pay attention, see when tournaments are coming up. I'm still not even sure how we're going to paint the Aquilans, but we'll figure that out. We'll figure it out. Thanks for hanging out, chat. Thanks for making that that info dump video I dropped, you know, actually do well. I always have that big fear when new videos come out that no one's going to watch, because YouTube goes like, man, you didn't release a video in a while, so we're not going to tell anyone about this. And it's like, no. But yeah, it seems to be doing okay, and I can't wait to put out the rest of them. Which is pretty good. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chilling. Don't forget, join the Discord if you want. Follow on Twitter for updates. I usually post pictures up there and fun stuff. So yeah, till next time, guys.